Right, that needs to go. That had a wash yesterday, as you can probably see, after about 3 months being parked up. That one is waiting for parts, so let's gonna work on this one. Okay, what is this, you guys? Oh dear me, you guys might ask. So this is a 2008 Astra 1.9 CDTI. So this car came with the following. Right, let me actually explain a little bit better. This car has been scanned by someone. I'm not sure what code it is, but I was told that the description of the code is something like air leak detected or something along those lines. So anyway, we're gonna start it up and I want to show you exactly what it does. And it does that. Engine light on. This one has full. Hey. Right, yes, so engine light on, so which means obviously we have a code in there, so we are going to scan the car and go from there. Okay, and looks like the engine code is the Z19DTH, so 1-fold code. Let's kind of see what it is then. Not present. Air intake system leak. P2279-5B. Intake air system detected. Not present. Okay, let's gonna do something here. Let's gonna come out. I don't know if this is doing it while stationary, so I'm going to actually, let's gonna do something. Quick erase the codes. Okay, no faults. Let's go into cycle the ignition. Start it up. Okay, I'm gonna let it to warm up a little bit because I don't want to be here revving the car while it's cold. So I've just started up first time just 2 minutes ago before when I've showed you the engine light. So I'm gonna let it to warm up and then we'll try to see if I can make that code come back while stationary. Otherwise it looks like we might have to go for a drive. We'll have to see. Okay, and I have everything set up to do a smoke test. I know it's not ideal, but it seals the hose. I'm putting the smoke in the map pressure sensor hole. I didn't like when I took this map sensor. Look at that. It's completely clogged. It doesn't look very nice. So I can only imagine how this manifold is going to be inside. But we're going to do a backlit test. Now, why did I came to do a backlit test? Because I think there is a leak. If the leak is where I think it is, I will then start the engine and I will show you why I came here to do this back leak. But obviously being an air leak would make sense to do a back leak test anyway. But this is going to be purely, hopefully, to confirm where I think the leak is. Yeah, we're going to have this every now and then, so I'm just going to do the smoke test. As I was saying, we're going to have these every now and then now, but we're going to do a back leak test and a smoke test, and see if we have a leak somewhere then. Bingo. Bingo, bingo, bingo. Look at that. Let me put a little bit more smoke. Yes, there is definitely a leak. Now, this just confirms what I thought. I was not honestly about to do it. I just thought it would be interesting for the video, because I could see pretty much there's a leak in there. I was pretty much sure. And yes, the leak is coming from, I don't know if you can see, guys. Let me put a little bit more smoke. There it comes. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let me show you exactly where this is coming from. Just using all the smoke. Look at that. Can you imagine under boost? And the boost is gonna leak everywhere. Dear me. Right. Let's gonna start this up and let me show you why I went to do that leak test. Hopefully you can see how much play there is on those Swirl flap shafts that goes on the intake. They're just wobbling everywhere. As soon as I've seen that with the engine running, and again it shows the importance of inspection. First thing I've done, as I said, after that, engine running, went in there, start to inspect around, checking hoses, etc. And I look at that and I thought, whoa, why is that wobbling like that? Straight away I got pliers, I grabbed the little levers at the bottom, and they have a lot of play, and I just thought it would be interesting for the video to show you a smoke test. After all, I've done that, I built that smoke tester years ago, and I think, well, I've showed you recently on a Land Rover on a air suspension system, but I never actually showed you on a situation like this. I thought it would be interesting. So, what's the next step? I think the next step is going to be removing the intake manifold, I guess, because there's no other way to do that, I think. Plus, the way that map sensor came out, I can guarantee you that intake is going to be absolutely caked in crap. So I think will be a very good chance as well to take it out and clean, even because the car revs a little bit weird. It revs okay, I mean, like stationary, it revs okay, but then it gets to about 2000 RPMs. Obviously you can't feel it. Hold on, from stationary. Yeah, it gets to about 2000 RPMs, kind of hesitates a little bit, it sort of slows down the revs, and then it goes again. So it looks like, I'm not sure, maybe a air restriction somewhere as well at the same time. I don't know. I think the smoke test shows enough for us to work over there. So with no further ado, let's gonna go. Okay, and I thought just to stop here now, just to take a little bit through how far I've got. So unfortunately, yes, the fuel pump needs to come off. There's a lot of stuff that needs to come off. I'm probably taking a little bit more stuff than I should, but I prefer to have a little bit more room and do things a little bit easier. Took this elbow. I was in the process to take the body control, the butterfly, the throttle body, and then carry on. But unfortunately, if you don't take that, the manifold can't travel back through the pins or through the rods. So yeah, that's where we are. I just got the throttle body. The throttle body is proper caked, and look at that intake in there. Look at that. Wow. The pipe is like half of the intake is half of the diameter. It's proper. Look at that side. How much crap in there. Right. It's gonna have to be cleaned, obviously, before we put everything back in. Right guys, there is definitely a lot of stuff that I need to come out. I had to take the bracket from the canister because the bracket, which is there, would not allow this thing to come back. So it's not too bad actually. I thought it would be a little bit worse. At least here at the other end. Ooh, the other end looks bad. Let me see if I can. Yeah. Whew. Oh dear, the diameter in there, it's just, look at that. Oh, right, but you can definitely see the carbon that's been coming up. You can definitely see that's been leaking. So yeah, look at that. So yeah, this is not supposed to come out. Yeah, it's destroyed it. Right, let me see what we're going to do with this. Okay, and you can see exactly what we are going to do. So after speaking with the owner, he came here, he looked at the state of this, and after a little bit of discussion, we decided that would be probably the best option. A brand new manifold from Vauxhall is extremely expensive, or it's probably extremely expensive. I didn't ask for the price, but it's probably expensive. Aftermarket ones, they cost about 120 quid, but how good are they? Special here, I don't know. I found a kit to replace just the Swirl flaps for pretty much the same price. Again, doesn't really worth it. So we ended up by decided that blanking these would be the best option. So Swirl flaps, I'm working tomorrow and Wednesday. Yeah, so today is Monday. But for now, all I'm going to do is clean it and yeah, give it a good clean and go from there. I just thought in stop here to let you know how I'm removing the Swirl flaps. So I got two out, as you can see here. There's two left, and the way I'm doing it is using one of this. Just put these in the middle. Sorry guys. And I just put it here at the bottom, and I just hammer it up both sides. So I get it like this, and turn it around, go on this side. A couple taps, and they will pop out. No problems at all. This one here is the one that comes down to the shaft. once you take the lever out, where's the lever? Oh crap, I hate these jobs. Once you take the lever out, there's a little shaft that stays here. Just hammer the shaft and it will come out. Actually quite easy to remove. Okay, and a few days later I got all the bits. I've ordered all the bits the last time I worked on the car, which was 2 or 3 days ago. Been working in the meantime. Got all the bits in the meantime. So I got the blankets and I got a new gasket, obviously. The blankets, I found different types. I found some with a rubber seal, and I don't know why I like these most. These ones are supposed to go, they are tapered, so they go like sort of half of it goes like that. So no, really, it's actually a little bit of play, but the rest of it is a really tight fit. You need to actually push these in. They do also have these grooves. It's sun now. They have these, come on. They have these grooves on them, which is obviously to put this lock B638. Don't know if this is the right one, but it came with a kit, so that's what we're going to use. It comes with 5 of them, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the tiny one that goes underneath on the shaft, where the shaft would come out. I've cleaned the manifold, as you can probably see. Okay, did the best as I could. It's not perfect, but it's definitely better than it was. Okay, definitely better. So the way we're gonna press this is using a jig lamp. I went shopping this morning. I was in need of another toolbox to separate my tools a little bit, and I got hold of a jig lamp. I do have something else that would do the job most likely, but I just thought I needed a jig lamp in the past, so I just got one. That's gonna make our life easier. So I'll do one on camera, and then the rest of it is just a repeating of the process. Okay, so I'm ready to do the first one, and the first thing you need to make sure, obviously I already did it, is make sure that this, where the inserts are going, make sure this is proper cleaned. I've cleaned all these down, as you can probably see, all down to the bare metal. Make sure there's no carbon, there's no residues, these pure clean. So that's what we did. We're going to do this first one, so we're going to put a little bit of this on our blank. Wait, slow. Okay, that should be enough. I think should be enough. Okay, we're gonna put it there. Yeah, it's more than enough. And now put the clamp like this. Sure. There it is, the first one. Okay, we're going to clean the excess off. Let me clean a little bit of that. It doesn't need all these around, I'm sure. Is first one is done, so all we're going to do now is repeat the process, and I will come back when it's done. So all in place, as you can probably see. Okay, I didn't like too much the way this tiny one went in. It didn't went with pretty much any pressure, so what I've done, as you can see, I just put one of these self-tapered screws all the way down, as you can see, so it's wedged between the blank and this thingy here, so it won't allow it to come up. Obviously plenty of that lock thing, and then I cut the screw. I didn't really like the way these went in. I think the size was not very well done, but it should be okay anyway. It should hold itself in place. Okay, so now the gasket is already in the head. Let me just show you. Oh dear. So the gasket is already there, the new gasket. So all I'm going to do now is just put everything back on, which is literally just the reverse. I do know I didn't take you through a lot of stuff on how to take these in and out, but honestly it just is no rocket science. The only thing I would mention is you on the 3 bolts that holds the fuel pump, the high pressure pump, you need to take this one out, otherwise it doesn't give you room for this to slide. The way I did it, where's the bolt for that? Oh crap, I think it's in the box. Anyway, what I've done is I put 2 nuts. I put 1 nut, then I put another nut after, tie both nuts against each other, and then use the second nut to obviously undo the stud. That's all I did. Not too difficult, to be fair with you. But I'll show you when I put it back on. But yeah, you need to take this bolt off the stud, otherwise it doesn't give you room to slide the manifold out. And yeah, let's gonna start to put everything back on. So I decided to stop here just to show you a little bit of the progress. So the manifold is all in place, the oil separator is in place, all the brackets at the back, everything's in place. Just needs the EGR, throttle body, etc. And the fuel pump. I decided to stop here just to show you. So this is what I've done to remove the stud. Okay, so you just put these 2 nuts. I compressed one against the other, and then I used the inner one to pull it out. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to put it in. I'm not going to use the outside to obviously screw this back in. And then when with the spanner you hold that one and you take that one. Well, I'm sure you can see what I've done here. So yeah, now is the moment to put the fuel pump back in before I put anything else, because there is some hoses that runs. This hose runs over the top, and it's easier to put the fuel pump now with these hoses out. So nearly there. Okay, at this point I've stopped again. I'm just going to take you very quickly through the main torque settings. I was just about to do the main nut here to the pump, but very quickly. So the intake to the head is about 22. I gave you a little bit more, up to you how much you want to give. The pump to this bracket here is 25. Again, I gave you a little bit more. This is supposed to be 50. I'm going to give probably just a little bit more than 50. You can use these bolts. I've used these 2 bolts. There's 2 places where you can screw these, align these 2 bolts, these 2 holes, and align this, and just screw in 2 bolts to hold the pulley. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to give 50 to this, well, just a little bit over that, and that's about it. So that's the main torques. I think everything else is just whatever you feel like. Just don't over tight, obviously, but that's about it. So I think the next time you're gonna see me is gonna be whenever everything is completely assembled, because it was just raining a minute ago, and the weather is a little bit, well, I think you guys can see. So I just want to finish this off quickly, so I can get this finished today. Just a quick note, because I know some of you are gonna be probably wondering. Yes, you should replace these nuts, the nuts that holds the pump, etc., etc., for reasons that I don't need to explain you, but you can imagine I'm not doing it. So yeah, but if you can, replace those. Two minutes ago, guys, not even joking, it was sun, really sunny. Look at this. I don't know, it's nearly done, but I'm gonna need another 20 minutes or so to really finish it off. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so the sun came back. I managed to put everything back on. I don't think it's gonna be for too long. As you can see, it looks like it's not looking good. Yeah, I'm still waiting for parts for the focus, but let's gonna focus on that, on this. I'm waiting for parts for the focus. Let's gonna focus on this. Right, everything is back on, guys. Absolutely everything. Battery is now plugged in for about 15 minutes, and I put it on charge straight away. Everything is back on, tightened, etc, etc, etc. So let's gonna try to crank this thing and see how it starts. Okay, let's gonna have a go at this. See if it starts okay. I don't expect it to start straight away. We had the fuel lines off, so etc, etc, but we'll see how it goes. We had the fuel pump out. I'm going to cycle the ignition. Let me wait for the fuel pump to go off. Come on. Okay, it's off. Let's cycle it again. Okay, I'm gonna do these a few times, 3 or 4 times before I attempt to start. Okay, let's gonna one last time. Let's gonna see what happens. Wait. You actually started pretty well. Good. Right, I'm gonna disconnect the charger because I have the battery charger at the moment. Let's gonna disconnect it and let it run for a little bit. Okay, it's running okay, as you've seen, quite smooth, no lights, but that said, the light was only coming on when, under boost, so that's basically what it was. So I think we're gonna have to go, I'm gonna plug in the Maxi Cs, just make sure everything is alright, clear any codes that we might still have in there, and I think I'm gonna go for a test drive, move my car out of the way, go for a test drive and see how it behaves, see if it runs okay. It'll be interesting. Hopefully that the leak on the Swirl flaps was what was causing the air leak code. Fingers crossed. Let's gonna try it. Okay, and I've been driving now, guys, for about, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. Yes, when I first drove the car, I left home really slowly. Obviously I live in that sort of neighborhood area, but as soon as I got to these back roads, the first few times I put my foot down, I couldn't see the back of the car. Honestly, it was so, obviously we have been messing with everything, so all the loose bits inside the manifold, all the intakes was just sucked by the pistons and burned, was black smoke everywhere. I pulled it really hard a few times already. The smoke is just the normal stuff now. There's no smoke at all. No engine light yet, but obviously I want to show you. I've been also monitoring the boost pressure request against the actual boost pressure. So as you can see, the blue is the pressure command, the boost pressure, the green line is the pressure being measured by the sensor. Obviously we've cleaned the sensor. I think I've told you that, not sure if I did. Obviously I've cleaned the boost pressure sensor, as you've seen when I've showed you when I took it off. It was completely clogged in crap. Right, just go back home, check around the engine. Everything looks okay, there's no leaks, no nothing, everything looks good. Still no light. So I'm just going to show you that, well, I haven't checked, but I guess it's going to be no codes. I hope not. The car drove absolutely fine. I floored this thing like it was no tomorrow, and it drove absolutely perfect. No smoke, just initially, as I said, so no codes, as you can see. And now I'm going to finish my strawberries, otherwise the missus will have a go with me. So that's it, guys. Problem is fixed. In the end, was a massive leak on those Swirl flaps. Do you need to remap the flaps off? If you want to go that far, if you want to be that keen, yeah, by all means, get the flaps remapped off. But obviously, if you don't want to do it, the car will drive just fine. just make sure you leave everything plugged in. So obviously the flaps actuator, they are nice. So obviously the flap actuator, oh excuse me, the flap actuator is still plugged in. Everything is plugged in as if the flaps were there. But that's it for this video, guys. So I think I haven't missed anything. If I did, you know what to do. So with no further ado, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope there's some information here you can find useful. If you do have any questions, any comments, put them below. And like always, thanks for watching. Very nice. Okay, just go back home, went on the engine bay, just make sure everything feels okay, nothing is leaky, can't really see. Let's start again.